What does it feel like to be left on your own? What does it feel like to lose someone? What does it feel like to have someone you love die in a car accident? Or what does it feel like to work on an oil rig when your wife rings up and says she doesn't love you any longer? Or what's it like sitting on a tractor day after day when you've been in drought for 7 years?
My background is farming. I was a dairy farmer. I milked cows for 30 years. I decided I'd have a bit of a career change. Got a feeling that MensLine was a good organisation that were there for men.
MensLine Australia is a telephone counselling service for men with relationship problems. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Gives you an opportunity to call and just talk about the things that are going on for you.
Men are good at putting on the brave face. Men are good at, she's all right, mate. But in reality, men are doing it tough. Men are doing it hard.
And a lot of men are hesitant to go to a counsellor, very hesitant, but they can pick up the phone and talk to a stranger. So the telephone's a great medium because it's anonymous.
Some blokes ring up and say, look, you've probably heard this story 100 times. We haven't heard their story. Their story is real, it's special, it's their story and it's important. And so when some guy rings up MensLine Australia, it's all about their story.
The problems they're going through are all sorts of problems. Mostly men who are going through separation or who've been through it and are just bewildered and lost and just don't know which way to turn.
A lot of these issues, they can't talk to their mates down the pub or whatever about a lot of their issues, and they're going to just be stuck with them themselves. And so it's a good place for them to go and talk about what's happening to them, so that they're not just doing this all by themselves.
The other night I had a man who'd been left by his wife with 4 little kids under 6. And you could hear all the noise in the background. And he was going through the grief of losing his wife and looking after these kids. Had no family around about him. And he was getting the tea and talking to me and just showed such courage. And I said, good on you, you're doing a great job.
I think it's important for organisations to make their employees aware of MensLine Australia. It's an independent service. It's confidential. It's non-judgmental. So I think it's ideal for organisations.
It's in the interests of employers. It's in the interests of the public in general, for men to be able to talk and work through some of their issues, because, if you're worrying about what's going on in your life, you're not able to do a good job, I'm sure.
Someone who was thinking about calling MensLine Australia, I'd encourage them to make the call. There'll be someone on the end of the phone who's there to listen to them, to hear them. I know it's tough, but now I think it's time for men to stand up and, say, we need help too. We need some assistance. We're not doing all that good.
You will be listened to carefully and you'll be taken seriously and spoken to respectfully. And hopefully you will feel safe and you'll make a strong connection with whoever you speak to.
First and foremost, let's say there's certainly not enough support and not enough funding for men's issues and for working with men in Australia. As the CEO of Crisis Support Services, I'm very clear about that, and certainly having worked in the sector for many years, this is a key initiative for Australia. However, we need to do much more. But what I can see is that government's commitment to this piece of work over the last few years is tremendous. When you see the quality of the work that we're doing here at MensLine Australia, when you hear the stories and when you hear our counsellors talk about the issues that they're supporting day in and day out, you cannot help but be touched by them. We are making a difference to so many people's lives, not just the men that call us, but for the women, and then the impact of that on families, on friends, on the work environment and the sporting fields across Australia. We really do make a difference. We know that we need to get to more men. We know that there's more men out there that need our support. And what we are asking today is for people within the industry sector, media sector and the community sector to help us to get the message out there.